Hi there, folks. I'm here with Ross and Will from Atomic Mass Games. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you guys again.
It's good to see you too, man.
You guys are having so much fun here at the event and stuff. Yeah, I think it's your first time here at the UK.
First time here, yeah. So this is my first UKGE. Blown away so far. Excited to wrap up the next 2 days, I guess. See what happens.
Yeah. It is very, very cool. And we are standing in front of, right now, Star Wars Legion, because you guys have been going through something of a like renaissance with the game, bringing it back and sort of like updating things and revamping the rules. You're bringing new hard plastic models and all that kind of stuff as well. But for anyone who is a big Star Wars fan and wants to know a little bit more about what Legion is, can you sort of talk us through the sort of like vibes of the game?
Totally, yeah. So you kind of covered a lot of it, right? So with Star Wars Legion right now, we're dedicating all this time for this awesome refresh. So we're giving it all new hard plastic, updated rules, kind of a streamlined way for a modern tabletop gaming, right? So if you really want to play those Star Wars moments where it's big battles in the field, kind of that Star Wars Battlegrounds feel, you know, like from the movies, that kind of stuff there, it's a good time to get into it. We have these new boxes coming out in the fall. We have kind of a whole new revamped way to jump into like the Rebellion or Clone Wars, that kind of stuff there. So it's a really fun time to kind of get right into it.
Yeah. I was going to say, one of the things is if you've been playing Battlefront 2 at the moment in this kind of like massive resurgence,
seriously,
diving back in.
right? Oh yeah.
If you want to play that out on the tabletop, you want to do Battlefront 3, just play Star Wars Legion. I think it's a really good way of doing things. You're talking about things like different eras and stuff like that, and you've got different starter sets coming. Can you kind of like walk us through what kind of starter packs you've got coming up for sort of later in the year?
So we've got 4 different packs coming out. So there's going to be one for the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance. Those are going to come with all new hard plastic sculpts, new commanders. You're going to see a new Vader. You're going to see a new Luke.
Love it.
Oh, well, new Luke, right?
Yeah, he's got the yellow jacket from the end of Episode 4, which was his main look in the Marvel Comics run that spanned the bridge between 4 and 5. So it was really exciting to be able to get that look for him and kind of update him. In the original starter, he was in his Empire Strikes Back like jumpsuit after he goes and confronts Darth Vader. Felt like a weird look for a guy who's always leading battles, right? Like it's a very iconic look for the moment, but we were like, all right, how do we get it more into like battle clothes? And so that was our solution, so it was pretty fun.
I did so much edge highlighting and updating on that old Luke sculpt. I did so much sort of extra work, and I was like, oh my God, I have to put too much shading in. It's really weird. So it's really nice to see the new one, and I love the new poses. The new Darth Vader has such a really cool commanding look to him. So like dominated battlefield, he's so much taller than all the rest of the stormtroopers as well, which is always cool to see.
Oh, totally. And then going to the Clone Wars too. So we have the new Galactic Empire. So you're going to be seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi hanging out with those new ARF troopers. And
hello there. Yes.
Oh, very much hello there, right? And then as he goes against General Grievous, we have this new streamlined Grievous. I'm actually painting one up right now. It's very tight, very fun. So you'll see a lot of droids on that, and it's going to be pretty fun. We're stoked where that's going to be going.
For those people who are Legion veterans, so maybe people who've played with the original core boxes or the stuff from the Clone Wars and things like that, how are they sort of like looking at the new version of Legion and sort of where you're going with it? How do they jump into this and sort of continue playing?
So same thing. So in the fall, they're going to have all these card packs. We're going to have unit command packs and command card packs, so they can get those. And those are going to be a way to kind of get their faction up to speed. Cool. Of course, you can get the rules right now on our website with print and play. But of course, having those nice official cards is really good. So you'll be able to get those right alongside the launch when those box sets come out. That way that new players can get in and old players can feel like they're ready to go.
Excellent. When it comes to the kind of development of the game and sort of how it's changed for you guys over the years, what were some of the things that you've kind of like tweaked and tightened up with the game mechanics to kind of like bring your version of Star Wars to the tabletop in Legion?
Yeah, so the refresh and kind of the redesign of it, right? We wanted to make sure that we were still doing justice to the original core of Legion. Legion's been a very popular game. It has a very robust community. The game systems themselves are really solid. So this new edition isn't really like a complete revamp, right? It's not unrecognizable from the old one. What we really wanted to go in and was to adjust and correct some of the player complaints with the game. We wanted to open up some design space for future development and things like that. So the biggest changes really are the battle deck has changed in terms of the missions that you play. And the primary change that's probably the biggest is that in the original version of Legion, a lot of the missions scored at the end of the game. So you had to play all 6 rounds before you started scoring victory points. That led to an experience that we saw over and over again with players where committing early was bad, and you wanted to really kind of play cat and mouse until round 4, maybe, but mostly 5 and 6. And then you would dive in and you'd get all the action kind of all at once really quick at the end of a 2 hours long game. And we wanted to make sure, we really wanted to see those battles and that excitement come earlier in the game. And the best way to do that from a design perspective typically is to have dynamic scoring. So we've accelerated scoring to happen earlier in the game, which means that you as a player are incentivized to you have to commit something. Now, you don't have to fully commit. You can obviously like play the delay game, those kinds of things. But if your opponent gets on those points, you have to respond in some way because they will eventually outscore you, right? Yeah. And I think that adds for me as a player, I think that adds a really interesting level of tactical strategy to the game where you're like, okay, do I push forward or do I wait for my moment and, do everything I can to like make up the deficit that I've built? So that was a big one. The other one that we did is we changed the cover system a little bit. So cover used to be a flat -2 to any of the hits that came your way from an attack. Because it was such a hard-coded number, what happened was there were two things. It was very easy to ascertain whether your attack would do something or not because you could just do the math. The math was very simple and easy to figure out, right? It's just 2. That created problems that we discovered because one of the big things we wanted to bring this new version was larger squads. Okay. We wanted to take the game from kind of a low skirmish war game, where you had 20-some, 30-some miniatures on the table, and really make it the Legion that I think people envision, right? You talk about the Battlefront 3, massive armies. We think of the Battle of Hoth, we think of the battle on Scarif, those types of things where we have big forces clashing.
Proper combined arm affairs kind of.
Right.
Exactly. And so in order to do that, what we discovered is that the dice math had to have a way to expand and contract. It had to have a variability to it. What we did is we turned cover from a flat -2 to a saving roll effectively. Okay. So now, depending on the number of hits, if you have cover, you'll roll a saving throw for cover, and then you get your normal saving throw. And this means two things. It means that we can make bigger squads and they don't blow out the dice math. It also means that once you have a smaller dice pool, you actually are more effective because one of the emergent strategies in the original game was you kill 2 or 3 troopers from a unit, and then that unit can't do anything to you as long as you're in cover because the math just simply says you can only get 2 hits. I ignore 2 hits. Good game. And that was, that's also something that's it's a little off of what you want the player experience to be. You don't want people to be like, all I have to do is do chip damage to you and then you can't do anything back to me. We want to see these squads going all out. You want to see those moments where that one trooper, we all have those experiences in tabletop. That one trooper defies the odds, wins the game for you, and then you have to give him a special paint job and a name, right? Like it just becomes a thing. And forever you always tell the story of like Jim, the great clone trooper who like won the battle of whatever.
He's got it.
Exactly. So we wanted to make sure to bring that back in. And then, of course, we went through and we did a lot of rebalancing on the units. We updated some of the core units from the original part of the game, both in Sculpt and in Rules. So it was a lot of that stuff. So it should hopefully, all the core components that we felt made Legion are there. The command card hand that players use to determine priority, to determine order control, the random order draw when you don't have assigned orders up. And then, a lot of the stuff with like army selection and building, you still have your core choices, your special forces, those types of things. Tokens typically work the same. There's some streamlining there. So there's a lot of cleanup, but then there were a couple of core fundamentals that we shifted. Yeah. We didn't change, but we moved the way in which they worked in order to open up the game into this new experience that's larger, hopefully more exciting, hopefully a bit more fast-paced, but still has that Legion essence at the end of it.
It feels like you've been able to kind of solidify your vision for what what you wanted Legion to be. Mm-hmm. And sort of bring that to the tabletop and distill it in these new sets and all that kind of thing as well. I will say there's loads of really fun customization things coming up for you guys. Oh. I love the set where you can do your own little Jedi General and stuff.
You don't even know yet. You don't even know. Oh. It's going to be so fun. We've got these 4 kits coming out that are like the way to build your own character and do your own thing. Yeah. We literally just finished doing a whole staff challenge for building your own stuff there. So you're going to see some stuff where like the Jedis, hey, you want to do a single blade, double blade. But even then, like with the droids, we had the tactical commander droid. Yeah. So we had that new like 3-leg droid that's kind of new to Star Wars, which is cool. So those are going to be really kind of fun to like really kind of level up that and bring your own version of how we like building miniatures to Star Wars.
So you guys have got some really fun stuff coming up for Legion, loads of things to look forward to throughout the rest of the year. We've been talking about it over and on Tabletop quite a lot, sort of showing off things you do. You previewed at Adepticon and things before that as well. Hopefully we'll be diving into a little bit more with you guys later in the year. Maybe that would be fun. Dive into those start sets.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, good. That'll be fun. Yes. We are going to go and actually talk a little bit more about Shatterpoint as well. But before we move over to there, I just want to make sure to say go and watch the live blog and of course watch the live stream, and we'll see you guys in a little minute to talk a little bit more about Shatterpoint and Star Wars.
Woo!